Hello and welcome to the month of July here at Luminous Architecture's virtual studio. We're back in the studio this week with a gentle spark of luminous movement to get your fire going. You'll need a block, yoga tune-up balls, and a strap. We'll begin in a comfortable cross-legged seat. Let your hands come to rest on your thighs. Let your shoulder blades slide down your back body as you relax your jaw and allow your eyes to slip shut. Feeling the weight of the pelvis drop down into the mat as the spine is ignited with length, reaching from the tailbone to the top of the skull. Allow your breath to settle in the lungs, inhaling and exhaling, feeling that movement of the rib cage expand and contract. With your next inhale, allow your rib cage to expand and then your belly to expand. And as you exhale, your belly and your rib cage soften and contract. Taking that a couple more times, inhaling into the lungs and the belly. Exhaling from the belly and the lungs. Once more, inhaling to the ribs, the abdomen. Exhaling from the abdomen and the rib cage. And now taking an inhale into the rib cage, the belly, and the pelvic bowl. Exhaling from the pelvis, the belly, the rib cage. Deep breath in, filling the lungs, the abdomen, and the pelvic bowl all the way down towards the tailbone. Exhaling, softening the pelvic floor, the abdominals, the lungs. Once more like that, deep breath in to the front, side, and back of the ribs, the abdominal core body, and the pelvic bowl. Exhale, gently contracting your pelvic floor, your abdominals, and your upper rib cage. And let your breath free flow in and out. Hopefully feeling more expansive in nature as you take this time to set any intentions for your practice. As you're setting those intentions, you can begin to swirl around the spine, just rolling around front, side, back and side. Eyes can remain shut or the gaze can be soft. Use your hands against your thighs or your kneecaps to help push and pull the spine line in this circular motion. And the head can roll around on top of the spine line, circling not just into the torso, but also into the head and neck region. Reverse the direction of your circling. This massage-like movement, opening up the channel of the spine, building gentle warmth along the spine line, the torso. Your body will return back to center and stillness. Let the eyes slip open if they were shut. We'll make our way to all fours. From here, continuing that circular motion, just picking one direction to begin to move around the shoulders, the hips, opening through the forearms and the wrists. Your head can relax here at the top of the spine, or continue to circle around in any way that feels good. Reverse the direction of your circling. Continuing to spark more warmth in the shoulders and hips. From here, toes will tuck, anchor down through all 10 finger pads as you press the hips up high. Let the heel bones settle towards the floor. You can pedal out through the feet, lowering one heel down as the other heel lifts, alternating side to side. Keeping that firm connection into the floor through the palms, feeling those upper arm bones widening out towards the sides of your mat as your shoulder blades wrap down your back body. Check in with your head, make sure you're not holding any extra tension there. Maybe a softening into the knees so you can press more into the palms and send the pelvis even higher. From here, take an inhale, reach yourself out to plank pose. Gather those lower abdominals in and up away from the floor. As you exhale, lower the knees, untuck the toes, sit the hips back for child's pose. Take a deep breath in here. And open the mouth, big exhale out. With your inhale, roll on up through the spine, walk the fingertips back behind you, and lengthen through the front of the chest, keeping your upper abdominals gathered. And draw yourself back out to your tabletop position, retuck the toes, hips high, head low and relaxed, down dog. We'll take that flow twice more. Inhale to plank pose, long from crown of head to heels, gathering your abdominals. Exhale, knees lower, untuck toes, soften the hips towards the heels for child's pose. Take a full breath into the back body, and open the mouth, pour that exhale down into the floor. Inhale, rolls you up through your spine, fingertips support you. And as you exhale, this time you can lift the hips up or keep them grounded, lengthening through the front of the chest and the quads. And soften the hips back down, inhaling as you walk yourself back to all fours. Tuck the toes, exhale, down dog. Deep breath in, rolling out to plank pose. Keep that corseting action of the core engaged. Exhale, release your knees. And sit on back, child's pose. Soften the fronts of the hips as you inhale. Open the mouth, big cooling exhale. Take that in breath, rolling up through the spine. Exhale, anchor through the finger pads to open through the front body, keeping front ribs anchored. And inhale, hips soften down as you walk your hands to all fours. From here, we're going to lower down onto our forearms, having our shoulders stacked over our elbows, reaching the legs long behind you into a forearm plank. Energize all 10 finger pads down into the mat. Press through the elbow tips. Feel those shoulder blades widening across the back body, almost like you're rounding into a cat spine, but then be mindful that you're not taking your pelvis with you, reaching the tailbone straight back in between the heels. Wrap those quadricep muscles up towards the femur bone, the thigh bone. And see if you can pull your shoulder blades further down the back away from the ears. Take one more inhale. Exhale, press into the forearms to lift the hips up. You'll walk the feet forward a couple of steps into this variation of down dog. Forearm down dog. Keep energizing and pressing the forearms, the palms into the mat. You can let the head release towards the floor. It might even touch. Take a deep breath in here. And as you exhale, relax the heels towards the earth, keeping that tailbone reaching up towards the sky. One more deep breath in. Use that exhale, push into the hands to lift your forearms away from the mat. Full down dog. And walk the feet forward into your forward fold. Take your hands to interlace behind the back body. Send that fist forward as the head releases towards the earth. As much of a bend in the knees as you'd like here. Full breath in. Deep breath out. Soften the belly towards the thighs. That fist reaching up and away from the back of the heart. One more inhale. Then as you exhale, release that fist towards the low back. Slowly roll on up through the spine. Your hands will come to prayer overhead. Keep those front ribs knit and gathering, wrapping to the front midline. As you inhale, lift up and back. Very gentle, lengthened back bend. With your exhale, trace the midline through prayer. Fold to your forward fold. Shift the weight into the balls of the feet. Halfway lift of the spine as you inhale, elbows reaching back towards the hips. Exhale, release down. Circle sweep the arms wide with your inhale. Grow tall, hands to prayer. That lengthened back bend, really supported from pubic bone to fingertips. Exhale, tracing, forward fold, back down. Halfway lift, inhaling, upper arm bones squeeze into the rib cage as you lengthen the spine. Exhale, soften and release. Arms trace wide around you with your inhale to lengthen into that back bend. And one more exhale to dive back down over the legs. Halfway lifting with your in-breath. Hamstrings are engaged, holding the body up here. Exhale, release, forward fold. Hands to the floor. You'll take an inhale, send your right foot back into your low lunge. Hands plant completely. With your exhale, step back, downward dog. Take your in-breath to plank pose. Keep the core gathered as you exhale, lower knees, chest, chin, or one solid piece to the mat. Upper arm bones gather to the rib cage, root down through the tops of the feet as you inhale, lift from the length of the spine. Exhale, pushing back, down dog. Right leg rises with your inhale, foot is flexed, energy from hands to back foot. Exhale, knee towards the belly, rounding the spine, shoulders over wrists. Inhale, lengthen back, three-legged. Exhale, right knee to left elbow, crossing the body. Inhale, reach up and back, flex through the foot. Exhale, right knee to right elbow, then step that foot to the outside of the right hand. Take a deep breath in here. And with your exhale, you're going to switch the legs. And that can be a hop or that could be a step back and switch. Taking that twice more. Left foot forward, and then returning to the right foot forward. Now anchor down through both feet here, strong through the left leg, kickstanding behind you. As you inhale, reach the arms back behind you, backstroking the arms. Then exhale, back foot steps in to meet the forward, hands interlace behind you, forward fold, fist towards the space in front. Deep breath in. Exhale, release the interlacing of the arms, let them drip down as the spine rolls up, hands to prayer, lift overhead, inhale. Exhale, trace the midline, fold back down. Take an inhale, send your left foot back to low lunge, hands plant. Exhale, right foot meets left, downward dog. Inhaling to plank pose, resisting the floor as you exhale, lower down with control. Take that in breath for your back bend, supported in your core. Exhale, down dog. Left leg flies up with your inhale. Keep lengthening from your hip through your knee to your ankle. Exhale, knee towards the belly, shoulders over wrist, rounding the spine. Inhale, lengthen the leg up and back. Exhale, right or left knee to right arm, crossing. Inhale, reach up and back. Exhale, left knee to left elbow, step the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Take a deep breath in here. Then exhale, switch the legs. Inhale, and exhale, switch. Twice more, deep breath in. And exhale, switch, really pressing down through the palms. Inhale, core supported, exhale, switch. Stamp down through that front big toe mound, ball of the back foot. Inhale, backstroke the arms up and around. Exhale, use that weight of the body to step forward. Hands interlace behind you. Send the fist forward and through. Deep breath in. And exhale, release the fists, the arms, roll on up through the spine. Reach the arms wide around you with your inhale, hands to prayer. And exhale, hands gather at heart center. Look down at your feet. Make sure you're comfortable, hips width distance, toes are pointed forward. Bring your hands onto your thighs. Bend the knees. Let your weight shift back towards your heels for a high squat position. Taking your inhale, use your hands against your thighs to pull your spine open through your cow, and then push down into the thighs as you exhale, round and deeply carve through cat. Inhale, pull up on the quads to lift the heart. Exhale, push down to scoop and round. Once more, pulling up to lengthen. Exhale, push to round. Come to a neutral spine here, hands to hips. Shift your weight into your left foot. Bring your right leg back behind you into warrior three. Hips are even from left to right. Your hands are there to really feel that on your own body. Energize through the back leg. Point the toes today. And then take your left arm straight out from the shoulder. Take a deep breath in here. And a deep breath out, extending fingers away from toes. Inhale, bend the left knee, lower your fingers and toes towards the floor. Maybe they touch, maybe they don't. And then exhale, press through the foot to lift back up. Twice more. Inhale to lower. Exhale to lift. Once more. Inhale to lower. Keep that right hip in line with the left. Exhale to lift. Then lower that right foot down. Left hand to left hip. Stand up. Roll it out. And reset. Other side. Shift into your right foot. Hands to hips. Left leg reaches back in space as the torso reaches forward. Bending into that right knee a touch can help with stability, making sure your left hip is level with your right. Point through those left toes. Reach your right arm straight out from the shoulder socket. Deep breath in here. Deep breath out. Keep lengthening away as you lower the toes and fingers down. Inhale. Exhale, press through the foot to lengthen. Inhale, tap to lower. Exhale, lengthen. One more deep breath in to tap. Exhale to lift. Lower the left foot down. Forward fold. Hands interlace. Send the fist forward. Let the skull release. Full breath in. Open the mouth. Big exhale. Let out some of that heat. Slowly release the fist towards the low back, then release the hands towards the floor. Heel toe the feet together so that the big toes and heels are touching. Bend the knees. Slowly making your way down. The heels will eventually lift up away from the mat. Knees will widen out towards the sides to make space for your body to walk forward. You can tent up onto the finger pads or have the palms flush with the earth. Deep breath in here. Slow exhale out. Allow your tailbone to settle back towards the heels as your hands reach away from the pelvis. Breathing into the back body, letting the head relax. One more inhale. And exhale, slowly walking the hands back in towards the legs. From here, your heels will lower. You'll sit on back to your mat space. Have your block handy, about in line, halfway along your mat, in line with your hips. As we roll on down to our back. Bend the knees. Bring your arms down alongside of your body with the palms pressing down to help anchor and support you. And find your neutral pelvis first, so make sure that There's that gentle curvature of the low back of the lumbar spine. Your front hip points are pretty neutral. They're not tipping down or tipping up towards the chest. Once you find your neutral pelvis, float your legs up to tabletop. So knees are stacking over your hips. Your shins are parallel to the earth. And legs can be about hips width distance here. Check back in with your core. Notice if your lower abdominals especially have started to dome up and away from the mat. See if you can gather that in without just crunching and pressing the low back down. So maintaining that natural architecture of the low back, gathering your belly in, then take an inhale, lower the right toes down, moving from the hip. And then exhale from the low belly, draw the leg back up. Inhale, left toes lower and dip, so you're keeping your leg at a 90-degree angle, moving from the hinge of the hip. Exhale from the low belly, draw the leg back up, rather than working deep into the hip flexors. Inhale, right toes dip. Exhale from the low abdominal wall to lift. Inhale, left toes lower. Exhale to lift. One more each side. Soften the shoulder blades down into the floor. Inhale, right toes dip. And they don't have to come all the way to the floor. Exhale to rise. Make sure you're keeping that low abdominal wall compact, not letting it dome up. One more inhale, left toes lower. And exhale back up. Hug the knees into the chest for a moment. We'll be adding on, so if you want to rock side to side, or just take a couple deep breaths here into the belly, let things relax and reset. And then we'll locate our block. Place it on the narrowest setting in between the knees. So you have something to hug into. And actually, let's have it so that it's narrowest setting in between knees and facing down along the inner thighs as well. So you can really feel that midline connection, keeping the legs in tabletop position. Full breath in here, lower the toes towards the floor. Probably not going to go all of the way without losing your core. Exhale, bring it back up. So smaller movement, keep squeezing into the block as you inhale, lower the toes towards the floor, keep the belly engaged. Exhale to draw it up. So you can bring your hand to your belly if you're having trouble sensing, if you're losing that abdominal connection. As soon as your belly starts to dome or mountain upward, you've gone too far. So work within your range where you can keep the abdominals gathered the whole time. That's how we'll build sustainable strength there. Inhale, lower the toes down, checking in with your lower belly. Exhale from the low belly, drop back up and squeeze into the block. Utilize that block. Twice more. Inhale, toes lower. Exhale, squeeze and lift. Relax your jaw. One more deep breath in, toes lowering, squeezing into the midline. From the lower abdominals, exhale, draw it up. Take the block out from in between the legs, set it aside, and again, hug the knees into the chest. Take a full breath into the belly. And deep exhale out. Lower the feet to the mat and reach both legs long. Locate your strap. And we'll take a stretch series for the legs, the hips. Let's take your right arch of foot against the strap. Slide the hands down the strap so that your upper arm bones can relax into the floor. That left leg is lengthened and the foot is flexed like you're standing on the wall in front of you. Right foot is flexing up against the ceiling, against the strap. Take a deep breath in here. And then exhale, can you relax your right lower back into the floor? Deep breath in. Exhale, soften the shoulder blades down the back. Gently move the leg from left to right, side to side, and that can be very small, couple inches, or it can be much wider, broader brush strokes of movement, but maintain the connection of the sacrum, the back of the pelvis, into the floor. So you're just moving from the hip socket, not from the pelvis rolling around side to side. And really let the strap hold the leg, so that the leg is more dead weight here. The strap, the arms are doing the heavy work. And return your right leg back over the hip. Flex and push the foot into the strap. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, keep pushing the foot out into the strap as you let the strap slide through the hands, lowering the leg all the way down. Keep lengthening, lengthening, lengthening as you lower until the leg finds the mat. And just release the legs, the arms, the strap. Take a moment. Deep inhale. And exhale. Return hands to strap, bending both legs. Finding your left arch of foot along the strap. Slide the hands down, upper arm bones pressing into the floor. And then that right leg lengthens. Foot is flexed, toes towards the ceiling. Flex more firmly through that top foot into the strap. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, can you relax your left hip, left low back towards the floor. Deep inhale. Soften your jaw and your shoulders. Allow that left leg to float side to side, massaging into the inner and outer seams of your left leg line. The back of the pelvis is anchored, grounded into the mat, so the movement is isolated into that left hip socket. Breathing into the stretch. Left leg floats back up over the left hip. Flex and press the foot up into the strap as you inhale. With your exhale, keep pushing the strap down, out, and away from you as the left leg lowers and lengthens to descend all the way to the floor. Release the arms, the legs, the strap. Take a full breath in. And a slow, settling exhale out. Both knees bend, the feet will plant. You'll take that strap off to the side and locate your yoga tune-up balls. We'll be taking a spinal roll to ignite the sensations along our spine line. So the yoga tune-up balls will be situated hugging the spine line, and we'll start in between the shoulder blades and we'll be rolling up and down on the mat to find that rolling of the yoga tune-up balls up and down the spine line. So feet are planted, knees are bent. Take the yoga tune-up balls and situate them to hug around the thoracic spine in between the shoulder blades. Then take your hands to interlace behind the back of the head. So you're holding the weight of the skull there. Lift the hips up just an inch or two, enough so that you can begin to rock by pushing the feet into the floor to rock the body across the yoga tune-up balls, up and down. Sometimes your fabric of your clothing might catch on the yoga tune-up balls, so just be mindful of that as you're rolling, or your hair. Make sure your hair is well secured away from those yoga tune-up balls. And you can work in smaller swaths of movement along the spine, just little rocks, or you can really roll up and down the length of the spine. Continue to breathe, Soften the jaw where you can. Take a few more rounds of breath, exploring this spinal roll, adjusting higher or lower. If it's a lot for your head and neck, you can release and let your head relax more towards the floor as you take smaller movements. If you want to get more into the lower back, just drop it down. And again, you have to move in smaller increments the lower down you get into your body. Taking one more deep breath in. And then exhale, slowly release the hips down towards the floor. Let the head find the mat. Slide the yoga tune-up balls out from underneath. And slowly roll on up to your cross-legged seat where we began our practice. Hands will return to the thighs. Let your eyes soften, your gaze find the floor or slip shut completely. As you drop back into the breath, resonating with the spark of movement that you just experienced. And the lengthening, the lightness of the spine line. Allowing your pelvic bowl to drop down, grounded into the cool earth below. As the spine lightens, ignites, and lifts from the grounded pelvis, the skull floating with ease on top of the spine line. With your next inhale, reach the arms out and up overhead. Make two gentle fists at the top. With your exhale, draw the fists down into the low belly, bowing your head forward as you seal in, acknowledge, and integrate the benefits of this holistic movement practice. It was an honor to guide you. Until next time.